7 consecutive days. That is what we are looking at right now across the United States. 7 straight days of significant severe weather unfolding from the plains all the way into the Mississippi River Valley. And the scale of this pattern, it does not come together like this very often. We are talking about a relentless atmospheric setup that will reload, shift, and intensify over and over again, from today all the way into the first week of May. So in today's forecast, I'm going to break this down phase by phase, region by region, because every part of this country is going to feel something different over the next 7 days, and I want you to know exactly what to expect. Let me start with the big picture. Our upper-level pattern is locked into a configuration that just keeps feeding storm development across the central United States. A persistent trough in the mid-levels of the atmosphere is keeping the flow active, and every time one system exits to the east, another one is already forming to the west. This is the kind of setup meteorologists watch very carefully. Not because of any single event, but because of the cumulative stress that repeated severe weather outbreaks place on communities, infrastructure, and emergency response systems over a multi-day period. If you are anywhere from the northern plains down through the southern plains and into the Ohio Valley, every single day between now and next Monday is going to require your attention. Let us start with where we are right now, Phase 1. Today, the atmosphere is not fully charged across most of the country. A marginal threat of severe weather is active across the Ohio Valley and into Texas, but the key word is isolated. The atmospheric lift just is not strong enough yet to support widespread development. If you are in central or southern Texas today, isolated large hail is the primary concern. Same story in the Ohio Valley. A few storms are possible, but nothing dominating the entire area. Think of today as the opening act. The atmosphere is building energy. The real show begins tomorrow. Phase 2 starts Thursday, and this is where the pattern becomes genuinely significant. A powerful corridor of storm development is expected to fire from the Minneapolis area all the way south to Wichita, pulling Kansas City, Des Moines, and Omaha directly into the impact zone. The Storm Prediction Center has a level 2 out of 5, slight risk, in place for this entire corridor. The ingredients are all converging at once. Ample low-level moisture pushing north, strong mid-level winds providing the rotational energy needed for supercell development, and increasing instability as afternoon heating kicks in. Supercell development is expected to begin between 1 and 2 in the afternoon, starting in northeastern Kansas and pushing northward toward Minneapolis. Discrete supercells, individual well-organized storms, carry the highest tornado potential during those afternoon hours. The corridor between Wichita and Omaha is where the tornado risk maximizes during Phase 2. If you live here, take this seriously. A well-organized supercell forming across the Central Plains in the early to mid-afternoon is capable of producing a strong tornado. Further south, near Oklahoma City, the Storm Prediction Center has issued a 2% hatched tornado probability. That is a signal that a long-track, strong tornado cannot be ruled out if a discrete supercell manages to form along the dry line in central Oklahoma. Given the shear and instability in place, this storm type could be exceptionally dangerous. As the afternoon transitions into evening, storm coverage will expand into central and western Wisconsin by 5 to 6 in the afternoon. By 9 to 11 at night, daylight heating diminishes, and storms in Wisconsin and northeast Iowa will begin to weaken, transitioning into a more isolated wind and hail threat through the overnight hours. The threat types for Phase 2 are layered. Baseball-sized hail is possible near Oklahoma City and west of Dallas-Fort Worth as initial supercells fire in the afternoon. Damaging winds, gusting up to 70 miles per hour, are a concern across southeast Kansas as a potent line of storms pushes through overnight. And then there are the tornadoes. A few strong tornadoes are possible during the afternoon and early evening. The conditional element, whether discrete storm development succeeds before cells merge into a line, makes exact placement uncertain at this range. But I want to be direct. If you are in central Oklahoma, eastern Nebraska, or southern Iowa on Thursday afternoon, watch the radar closely. This is the day the pattern escalates. Phase 2 is not where this pattern ends, it is where it begins to accelerate. On Friday, the severe weather threat shifts and reloads. A slight risk covers a broad zone from Springfield, Missouri, down through Dallas and Shreveport, stretching across to Memphis, Tennessee. Friday has a conditional element. If a morning line of storms sweeping through Arkansas and Oklahoma weakens enough by midday to allow the atmosphere to recover, new supercells could fire in the afternoon near Fort Smith and west of Little Rock. Even isolated supercells in this environment are capable of large hail and tornadoes. The fatigue factor on emergency systems during a multi-day outbreak is real, and communities processing Thursday's activity may face new threats before they have had time to fully assess the damage. Saturday is the day I want to flag as the most operationally challenging of the entire week. An enhanced risk, level 3 out of 5, is in place targeting Wichita, Tulsa, and Oklahoma City. Enhanced risk days carry a higher tier threat. We are talking about bowing storm segments capable of producing widespread damaging winds across large areas. Embedded tornadoes within those bowing segments, what meteorologists call QLCS tornadoes, are a major concern. These storms move fast and can produce tornadoes with very little warning time compared to classic supercells. A slight risk also extends south toward Dallas on Saturday. If you have any outdoor plans from central Oklahoma south into North Texas this weekend, have a plan ready before you go. And then there is Sunday. This is the day the models are most aggressively highlighting as a potentially higher-end severe weather day. A volatile dryline setup is expected to develop across a zone stretching from Dallas-Fort Worth northward into Kansas. The dry line, that sharp boundary between dry desert air from the west and moist Gulf air pushing north, is one of the most powerful storm-initiating mechanisms in all of severe weather meteorology. When instability is high, wind shear is strong, and a well-defined dryline focus is in place, the results can be very significant. Strong tornadoes and very large hail are both on the table for Sunday. The precise location of afternoon storm initiation will sharpen as we get closer, but mark Sunday as a day that deserves your full attention across the southern and central plains. There is something about this broader pattern I want to highlight from a wider perspective. The Midwest has been an extraordinarily active target this year. Storm systems have been consistently hitting the region since the severe weather season began. That trend is not letting up. At the same time, and this is what has my attention, the Mississippi River Valley and Dixie Alley have been shockingly quiet during the 2026 severe weather season. Virtually no significant severe weather in those areas all year. That is about to change. By Monday, European model guidance points toward a significant storm system that could drag widespread severe weather from the Chicago and Michigan corridor southward into the Mississippi River Valley, targeting St. Louis, Shreveport, and surrounding communities that have barely seen a severe storm this entire season. When an area has been quiet for a long time, preparedness levels drop. That is exactly when a dangerous storm can catch communities off guard. Let me lay the full timeline out clearly. Today, Phase 1. Isolated marginal threats in Texas and the Ohio Valley. Watch for isolated large hail in the southern plains. Thursday, Phase 2 ignites. Supercell development from Minnesota to Kansas. The Wichita to Omaha corridor carries the highest tornado potential. Damaging winds push through southeast Kansas overnight. Friday, conditional severe threat from Missouri down to Texas and across to Memphis. Afternoon supercells possible near Fort Smith and west of Little Rock if morning activity clears. Saturday, enhanced risk day. Wichita, Tulsa, and Oklahoma City in the primary zone. QLCS tornadoes and widespread damaging winds are the headline threats. Sunday, potentially the highest end day of the stretch. Volatile dryline setup across the southern and central plains. Strong tornadoes on the table. Monday, the severe weather train shifts east. The Mississippi River Valley and Dixie Alley face a significant multi-hazard threat after a year of near silence. I want to be clear about something before we wrap up the overview. There is a real difference between watching a 7-day severe weather pattern evolve on a screen and living inside the impact zone while it happens. If you are in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, Iowa, Nebraska, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Tennessee, or Louisiana this week, your safety plan needs to be in place now. Know where the interior room on the lowest floor of your home is. Know the difference between a watch and a warning. Have a way to receive alerts that does not rely entirely on your phone's internet connection. A battery-powered weather radio can make a genuine difference when severe weather is approaching and communications are disrupted. Do not wait until Thursday morning to figure this out. The time to prepare is today. One more thing. And this is something the models have been flagging for several days now. Even after this current stretch winds down near the middle of next week, the large-scale pattern does not show meaningful signs of shutting off. Additional storm systems are expected to continue reloading across the Great Plains, heading deeper into May. The moisture return is too aggressive, the mid-level flow is too favorable, and the atmospheric energy is too elevated for this to be a one-and-done sequence. Communities hit during this 7-day stretch may not have much time to recover before the next round begins to develop. That is something emergency managers across the entire region are watching closely, and something you should keep in mind as well. We are going to stay on top of this pattern every single day as it evolves. As each phase develops, model guidance will sharpen, and our ability to pinpoint exactly which areas face the greatest risk will improve. The most important thing you can do right now is stay informed. Check your local forecast often. Do not wait until the morning of a severe weather event to think about your safety plan, because by then, the window for calm preparation has already closed. Stay weather aware. More updates are coming as this pattern continues to evolve.